News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Missoula County announces a $1.2 million settlement over a 2011 accident. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Congratulations. You made it. It's Friday, and it's also the first day of May. So happy May Day, everybody. Right now we have 35 degrees in Missoula, and the sky is just partly cloudy. And our newscast this morning sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excavation excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. This morning's top story. Yesterday, Missoula County officials announced a $1.2 million settlement with Adam Atkins, the Helena man who was seriously injured in an accident involving a Missoula County Sheriff's detective. County Commissioner Gene Curtis described what happened in December of 2011.
One of our deputies was in Helena attending classes at the Law Enforcement Academy, and after classes were over, he was involved in an accident, and the young man that was in the other vehicle was injured badly.
Curtis explained how the settlement was funded.
Missoula County is self-insured, and we have $750,000 set aside for liability claims. Then we have an additional policy with another company for additional insured, so $550,000 will come from that insurance company.
Although no citations were issued, the affidavit did say Detective James Gunter was traveling above the posted speed limit when the accident occurred. Sheriff T.J. McDermott, through his Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett, said he hopes the settlement will be helpful in allowing Atkins to move forward and continue his treatment.
It was a tragic and unfortunate accident, and I know from TJ's perspective, he just hopes his settlement money will help pay for any cost of care and treatment and hopefully help that family move forward.
The $1.2 million has been placed at a state-monitored special needs trust. The future of U.S. energy production is bright, with oil and natural gas production growing while domestic demand for petroleum slows. Federal Energy Regulatory Commissioner Norman Bay said on Wednesday that the nation will soon be a net exporter of energy. The Missoulian reports Bay spoke Wednesday at the Asia-Montana Energy Summit at the University of Montana. The two-day conference, which wrapped up yesterday, brought energy experts and political leaders from 5 nations together to look at market trends and global energy needs. Once the Marcus Karmer trial ended, Missoula District Judge Ed McLean announced his retirement from the bench after serving for 26 years. The process for replacing Judge McLean has been underway for the past 2 months, according to Chief Clerk of District Court Shirley Faust.
At the Supreme Court level, there is a commission called the Judicial Nomination Commission, and by statute, they need to actually make known the availability of and take nominations and applications for the position.
Faust said the process of naming a new judge is well on its way to being completed.
The names were submitted by the Judicial Nomination Committee to the governor, and at that point, then the governor, my understanding is the governor is planning to interview the top 4 candidates on the 5th of May.
Faust said the process of naming a new judge, the top 4 nominees were announced in early April. They are current standing master Brenda Desmond, along with local attorneys Barbara Leslie Halligan, Shane Anthony Venata, and Brian Smith. Dave Parker, spokesman for Governor Steve Bullock, told KGVO News the governor takes the appointment of a district judge very seriously and will take all the time necessary to make his choice. However, he did say selection should take less than 1 month. Montana's Democratic governor has vetoed more bills from this year's Republican-controlled legislature than he had at this point after the 2013 session. Governor Bullock had shot down 34 bills by the end of the day Wednesday. He still had at least 150 more bills to consider. All but 2 of the vetoes were issued on bills sponsored by Republicans. Lawmakers passed 3 anti-abortion measures this year, a subject that did not survive the 2013 legislature. Bullock has vetoed 2 of the Republican measures and is expected to reject the 3rd. Next Tuesday, millions around the world will celebrate the Battle of Puebla, in which the Mexican army won an unlikely victory against the French back in 1862. Most celebrants will have tequila and margaritas in mind. That's why Sergeant Greg Amundson from the Missoula Police Department says more police than usual will be watching the streets on Cinco de Mayo.
For Cinco de Mayo, the police department's going to be putting out a couple of extra patrols, which is extra officers that are going to be hired to come in and work just DUI enforcement that evening, which, if you think about it, compared to our overall manpower, is pretty significant, especially since they're not going to be responding to calls for service. They're going to be focusing just on locating and arresting impaired drivers.
The extra police are funded by a Department Department of Transportation grant through the Selective Traffic Enforcement Program. While extra eyes on the road are helpful, Amundsen says the big benefit of the grant is from the press.
Probably the thing that's the most helpful is when the media helps us get the word out that there's going to be extra officers out there looking for impaired drivers. Maybe just make people think about planning ahead. What I always like to say is don't even take your car down there. Ride the bus downtown. If that's where you're going, or if you're going to a party, get dropped off, because it completely eliminates the possibility of you driving your own car home.
National statistics show a spike in drunk driving-related crashes over the weekend of Cinco de Mayo, and nearly a third of all vehicle crashes result are from a DUI. The former Butte Central music teacher and band director has denied charges. He provided alcohol to students during a state basketball tournament in Hamilton and sexually assaulted a 16-year-old girl. Scott York denied felony charges of sexual intercourse without consent, sexual assault, and 3 counts of felony criminal endangerment. He also denied a dozen misdemeanors, 6 each of endangering the welfare of children and unlawful transactions with children. District Judge James Haynes allowed the 26-year-old, who was free after posting a $100,000 bond, to leave the state to live with his parents in Oregon. Right now, ballots are out for a Missoula County School District 1 trustee race. Major issues in the race: the need for a new superintendent and a large bond request to go before the voters. Michael Smith, the incumbent, says his experience will be key in decision-making about the bond issue.
I've been on the board for 5 years, and I've been quite involved in the process for the last couple of years, building up to development of the bond and identifying the needs of the district. And I think that we need some continuity to ensure that this bond is implemented in a most fiscally and most efficient manner possible. I think that my background as an engineer is going to be key in that decision.
Candidate John Fletcher says his background and experience on a variety of local boards will be helpful when it comes to selecting a new superintendent.
I've got a lot of experience serving on local government boards in our community. I was on our library board when we had a library director resign and transfer to another library. We had to do a search. We had to get an interim director. Similarly, when I was on the Missoula Consolidated Planning Board, we had the same circumstance. So I've been in that situation before.
A third candidate, Grace Decker, is also in the race. KGVO News reached out to Decker but hasn't received a reply. The election is a mail-in ballot only, and ballots need to be in the mail by May 5th. Newstalk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Mostly sunny skies today with our high temperatures in the mid to low 70s. Winds will be breezy at times with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with our lows right around the 40-degree mark. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.